Hi there and welcome to Gaining Vision. I'm Melanie. Have you subscribed to the channel yet? If not, take a second, hit subscribe, and please don't forget to like and share. Today I want to talk to you about something that many of us have had experience with when others may not have. And that's siblings. Yes, I'm talking about having brothers and sisters. I was blessed with 3 younger sisters and then later in my life, a half brother. And they all played very important roles in my life. The one that I was closest to growing up was my sister Melissa. We're 14 months apart. My mom and dad would dress us as twins growing up, thinking it was funny. Now looking back, we laugh, but at the time, probably was cool. But as you got older and you grew apart, it was the worst thing possible. Melissa and I were very different. We didn't really have a lot in common other than the fact that we always had each other's backs. I remember when we were growing up, we used to have these t-shirts. It said, "Hi, my name's Melanie, and she's my sister Melissa." And then Melissa, of course, had one that said, "Hi, my name's Melissa, and she's my sister Melanie." Now, that shows you how back then it was safe to give out children's names. My parents thought it was cute. Melissa and I played together, we shared secrets, we fought growing up, of course, like cats and dogs. But the one thing that we always had was a special bond and friendship that we always would protect each other from our parents. As we grew apart. You know, I started to see Melissa hanging around me as a drag, having to take care of my little sister, that sort of thing. It wasn't cool anymore to have a sister that was so close. But the one thing that never changed is that I always had her back. I remember when we went to elementary school, and of course, being 14 months older than her, I got to go first to school, and then when Melissa was in elementary school, she was teased a lot. And they had to deal with me, big sister, because I would kick their butt if they upset my sister. I always stood up for her, no matter what. Even when we still started to not get along because we were so different, I would always have her back. As years went on, and went to university, we still weren't close because we thought each other were annoying and different. My sister was into theater, I was into art. We just were different. But when I had my stroke, Melissa was by my side. She did my nails when I was in the coma. She was there overnight at the hospital making sure I was okay. And she even took on the big sister role for a while I wasn't able to maintain it. She always had my back then. She had opinions I didn't always agree with, and she would share them with me whether I want to hear them or not. And I appreciate her for that. But our relationship started to evolve. Melissa went backpacking through Europe and ended up relocating to London. And the miles and miles away separated us. All of a sudden, I missed her. I missed our conversations. I missed our relationship. It changed. It evolved now, not necessarily into a sister relationship, even though it's always there, but it was a friendship, and it was different. We'd call and confide in secrets, things like that. But the one thing that continues to this day is that we always have each other's backs. Melissa didn't always understand everything I was going through, but she was never afraid to ask. She's a very strong-willed individual, just as I am, and she always expresses how she feels. But if I'm frustrated or I have a concern, I will go to her. So having a sister like Melissa has been a real pleasure. Not always when I was younger, I'll be honest, let's face it. But growing up, now this friendship is special because I know that she'll always be there for me, no matter how far it is. I have 2 other younger sisters, Trish and Lena. Trish, we're 7 years apart. And when she was born, I was so excited. She was like my little doll. I would spoil her rotten. I would take care of her. And this evolved into somewhat of a hero worshipping thing on her part. She wanted to follow me. She was my shadow. She went everywhere. Even wanted to come with me on my first date. So that got a little bit annoying, but it was really neat because I was able to teach Trish a lot of things over the years and always be there for her. She had some difficulties growing up, but I hope that I was able to guide her and encourage her to try different things. But one thing that she always saw me as the big sister that would get her into trouble. And not putting blame on her or pointing fingers or anything like that, but she saw what I was trying to do to help encourage her and guide her and keep her on a straight and narrow as if I was writing her out. And that was the age thing, and I understand that. But the one thing I did learn from Trish, that took a while, is that I can't protect my sisters always. As the big sister, you want to make sure you're there for them and guide them in the right directions and protect them from harm and doing things that you have learned from your own experiences. But sisters don't always listen. Trish, over the years, has changed. She's, as I mentioned, we all had our ups and downs, but she's always been around there, and unconditional love that she feels for me. We don't always see eye to eye, and we may not agree on everything, but definitely unconditional love was there. The differences that we face over the years evolve, though, and that's the thing with siblings. She may interpret something one way, but I meant it a different way. But siblings, you're stuck with them. You don't get to choose them. It's not like a friend. You can kind of say, okay, I'm done with you. Sisters or siblings are around for the long haul. And not that I would change it for the world, because they're my sisters. But sometimes, I'm sure Trish would have wanted us not to be friends. But I think at the end of the day, we know that we have each other's backs as well. As much as I want those best for all of my sisters, Trisha was the hardest one for me to reach for that. Only because she's very strong-willed as well. All of us are, when you think about it. But sometimes we get into our frame of mind where we know what's best for us. And it's true. A lot of the times. Obviously, I'm not living in their shoes. I don't get it. But again, having that shadow of Trish evolve into a friendship has been something very special. Now, my baby sister, Lena, we're 10 years apart. And Lena was great. Growing up, she wanted to help, she wanted to learn, and she was just fun. And she's always going to be the baby sister. And we have a really special bond. After my stroke, she wanted to help. She wanted to be there. So she had no conditions. She unconditionally helped me without question. And she's good at it. She would help and encourage and ask questions and learn from me. And that was really great because I really felt that I was able to help encourage her to do things that she loved. And over the years, again, relationships with siblings change and evolve. And although I'm still the big sister and I try to give advice, she still appreciates it and she'll take it or leave it, whatever she likes. But all personalities of siblings are unique. There's 4 of us, 4 girls, all of us, same family, but very unique individuals. So we're always going to have our confrontations, our disagreements, and that's natural. As I mentioned, with friends, you can say, okay, I've had a fight, I'm done with you, move on. Siblings, you don't get to do that. But the one thing about siblings that not only do we have these lifelong friends that will have our back, but we also have to recognize that sometimes siblings take each other for granted. So for me, always be there to help guide and encourage my sisters. When I had the stroke, or perhaps after I got married, I kind of drifted a little bit away because I had to live my life as well. I'll always be there, and they know that, and they sometimes take it for granted because they always come to me when they have an issue. But we do take these things for granted because we're so used to having them come to our rescue or be there for us all the time. But we have to appreciate them, and we have to help encourage them to do the right things and help them. But we also have to realize they're all individuals, and they may not want our advice. Having siblings growing up was fun, irritating, exciting, and as we grow, all those words and feelings still fit. I've heard many people that haven't had siblings before say they wish they did. I always used to offer to rent my sisters out to them. In fact, give them away for free sometimes. But The blessings of siblings is something that we have to take seriously, and we have to appreciate it. And for those of you that have siblings, have you thanked them for what they've done for you? Have you thanked them for the guidance they've provided you? None of us are perfect, and none of us have the perfect sibling relationships, because there's always sibling rivalry. You know, the jealousy, oh, she gets more than I do, or mom or dad loves them more, that sort of thing. It's always going to be there. And it can cause a lot of friction and animosity in the relationships between siblings. And in fact, we used to tease a couple of my sisters about them being adopted or not part of our family. As kids, you say hurtful things. And we have to really look back at how that affects them. You know, we're kids, we say silly things, we fight. My sister Melissa and I used to pull hair, bite, the whole bit. It was awful. But recognize what they've done for us. Recognize what your siblings have done for you. They may still be a pain in your butt. They may give you headaches. They may cause you grief. They may do all of that. But at the end of the day, they will always be there for you in times of need. So if you have a sibling, take the time, say thanks, appreciate them, and be thankful for what they've done for you in your life. If you don't, my sisters are still for rent. Give me a call. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share, and I'll catch you next time.